I was born and raised in a loving family. I do not harbor ill will towards my parents for raising me a Mormon. I served a faithful 2-year mission in South America. I graduated from BYU, the third generation in my family to do so. I was a good Mormon boy. For 33 years of my life I bought into all that Mormonism claims to be. In fact, I clung to it for dear life. I needed it to be true to justify the decisions I had made in my life, many of which make no sense outside of the umbrella of Mormon culture. I do not wish for this to be an anti-Mormon blog, but I know it will be labeled as such by true believing Mormons, TBMs. I will forever be shaped by Mormon ideology. I cannot deny that I think the way I think in large part because I was raised Mormon. However, I am not doomed to continue the cycle with my own children, and I have the power to pick and choose which aspects of Mormonism to eradicate from my thinking, and which ones to embrace. I simply wish to detail my journey away from Mormonism, to document my very real, very painful and very personal discovery and recovery process. It is not easy to exit the Mormon faith, especially if you have pioneer heritage and your parents are as devout as Mormons come. For example, my father was stake president. I have 3 sisters, each of whom will mourn the decisions I am making, as they believe, and the Mormon Church teaches that to leave the church means that I will not attain the highest levels of the celestial kingdom and will therefore be in the equivalent of hell, unable to be with my family for eternity. My father would be devastated as I am an only son and I am not following in his footsteps of faith. Worst of all, my mother would be hurt. I love my mother, and I hate that my decisions will cause her pain and angst. That is a tough pill to swallow, and not one I take lightly. This process will test the very fabric and strength of our family. I hope that my parents' and sisters' love for me will outweigh their love in the Mormon Church. I fear that I will be looked upon as a second-class citizen in the family, someone to be loved out of pity, rather than as their son or brother, or worse, shunned entirely, written out of wills, disowned, etc. The latter are less likely, but it still makes me lose sleep at night. However, the problem is that I cannot continue to live the lie. I have to be true to myself and stop pushing doubts to the back of my mind. I have to deal with those doubts, or let them continue to erode me from the inside out. I am new to this ex-Mormon thing. It is at once both terrifying and liberating. No longer do I feel guilty for not being perfect. No longer do I doubt my worthiness. I am a good person because of the things I do, not because I follow the precepts of any church. On the other hand, it is terrifying. No longer do I have spiritual leaders to offer guidance. No longer do I have a safety net of rules and regulations to help me decide what is right and wrong. I have to live my own life. I have to decide on my own. I have to learn to value myself, not because I fit some predetermined standard of righteousness, but rather because I strive to be the best person I can be. In later posts, I'll blog about the very personal reasons why I am leaving the Mormon Church. P.S. For any TBM that may be reading this, I hope you will understand that your judgments of my faith, sincerity, righteousness, or anything else is unwelcome and wholly unfounded. You do not know me. You do not know my life. To pretend you do and pass judgment is highly arrogant and presumptuous, and speaks more ill of the Mormon Church than you realize.